Should the Sacramento Kings retire Demarcus Cousins' jersey? Well, stick around and I'll see if I can make the case for it. Let's start with the negatives. Boogie was one of the biggest crybabies in literally NBA history. He was really pulling out some clown shit on the court. He has some crazy ejection records. He was a real problem in terms of a culture setter. That really worked against the Kings in terms of making the team truly elite. There are other factors which we'll get to later that didn't help that, but Boogie's personality certainly got in the way at times. He also only made 3 All-Star teams and only had 7 seasons in Sacramento, none of which led to a playoff appearance and none of which led to real serious success in the Western Conference at all. He was an incredible center, super talented, super good scorer, but other than the 56-point game, I mean, he really doesn't have a lot to show for all that suffering that occurred in Sacktown. With that being said, though, what else is there to be remembered about the period of Sacramento basketball between 2010 and 2017? That is a significant period of time, a significant era in the franchise's history, and I think Boogie is the only thing that's worth remembering about that period. They drafted Georges Papagiannis, Willie Cauley-Stein, Ben McLemore, Jimmer Fredette, all these guys within 6 years of one another. They had no good draft picks. I didn't even mention Thomas Robinson. Literally no good draft picks other than Boogie for almost a decade until they got De'Aaron Fox. They did him absolutely no favors. That franchise was completely unsalvageable the entire time he was there. They added a Rudy Gay here and there. They added a Rajon Rondo. But other than that, this team had no significant talent injected into it, and Boogie had to bench press them every single season to not being the worst team in the NBA. So I think his jersey should be retired. He suffered a lot at the end of his career, and I think this would be a nice celebration of him because he's not going to make the Hall of Fame. There will be no celebration for Demarcus Cousins at the end of his career. He didn't even get a championship. So this is sort of the one thing left that he can put on his resume and say that all of the things that he did in his career amounted to this. And I think that we should celebrate players like Boogie, the best center in the NBA for arguably 5 years, an ultra-talented player who, if he had stayed healthy, was on a Hall of Fame trajectory. So yeah, sure, he didn't do shit in Sacramento, and they were bad every year, but, put his number up in the rafters anyway, because what else does Sacramento really have to celebrate?